Hi, and welcome to yet another interview with online entrepreneurs. My name is Christine Frey. For those who don't know me, I'm the founder of liveyourperfectday.com. I'm an online entrepreneur, online business coach, public speaker, and I've recently launched my own ebook called The Portable Lifestyle. You can find out more about me on my website, liveyourperfectday.com. But today I'm super excited to speak to Mike Jacques, who has recently had some great success with his online business. So, how are you, Mike? How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. Really good. Good to talk to
Perfect. That's great to hear. Thanks for being here and for taking the time. So, for those who don't know you, maybe you can just talk a bit about yourself. What did you do before you started your own online business?
you. Okay, what did I do? I had a career in sales, primarily IT software sales. I had a very successful career, 30 years selling to some of the world's largest banks and telcos. And finally, my career was selling for automation software. To be blunt, that was really automating people out of their corporate jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I could realize that sooner or later, the software that I was selling, the technology I was selling, was going to end up automating me out of my job as well. But before that happened, I felt completely disillusioned with sales, with just the corporate rat race in general.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was selling my time for a boss or to a job. I had very little time with my family and kids. In fact, I went through 2 divorces, so that's how
Mm-hmm.
hard I was working in IT sales, which wasn't good. So after
Mm-hmm.
all those years, 30 years of working in the corporate rat race, I ended up losing everything financially, wife, kids, the whole lot. So yeah, I was in a position where I was looking around, looking for something different rather than finding just another software job. And I was just totally disillusioned, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, so it sounds like you were kind of consumed by the work, isn't it? Like so many other people do nowadays. Like we start our job, we're really excited in the beginning, but it gets to this point where we really feel like that's all there is, like work, right? And we keep pushing ourselves and all that.
It is, and it sort of becomes like a bit of a hamster wheel, because the more successful you are in your corporate job, the more money you earn, the bigger the house, the bigger the cars, the bigger the
Mm,
debts, and you feel like you just can't get out. And I also felt sales was the only thing I knew for 30 years. And however desperate I was to get out of that rat race, I didn't know a way out. I didn't know anything else. I certainly couldn't go back to school or college. So
mhm.
I felt completely trapped. Most people looking at me from the outside would have seen the cars in the driveway and the big house and thought I was very successful.
Mm.
But I was incredibly miserable and probably suffering from depression as well. I was drowning. Yeah, really. I was in a very horrible place.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people they don't admit it, I guess, at the right time. Like they just keep being saying, "Oh, we fine. I feel good. I have all this nice stuff here. I shouldn't be in a bad situation." I think often we have trouble to admit that kind of thing as
You
well.
do, and you feel peer pressure from your people at work, from family members, because they're all holding you up on a pedestal. They all see
Mm.
the things, the items that you bought, or your lifestyle that you are borrowing to live, just
Yeah.
to keep up with your peers. And it's all false. It's very false. I felt very false. I had a work face, and then I had a home face, which was very miserable. And
Mm.
I remember one day, my youngest daughter coming in. I think I was watching some, having a really good laugh. And what she said just astonished me. She said, "Dad, I've never seen you laugh before," and that really cut me to pieces, actually. Yeah. And I
Mm.
realised that she's right. I'm always stressed, worried when I come home, and she never did see me laughing. All she ever heard me was rowing about money and worries, and yeah. So I knew that was time for a change. Then I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely one point in your life where you feel I need to change.
Yeah.
So coming to that change, how did you then kind of make a start into online business? How did you find out about online business and that could be an opportunity for you?
Yeah, it was. If I'm honest, it was by pure accident. I think, again, being very down, I sort of got into watching motivational videos on YouTube. Just anything to distract me from my next business call or call with my boss and my sales manager, which I used to dread. Yeah, I think I was just watching some motivational stuff on YouTube one day. An advert popped up, and it happened to be a young guy who had also been in software sales, big corporate career, also did very well. And he'd quit the rat race, quit the 9 to 5, and he'd set up a business just working from his laptop, selling 24/7, 365 a year, where he could travel the world, live the lifestyle that he wanted to, and earn a healthy income. I think he surpassed his previous corporate income. And that just really caught my imagination. And I thought that was something that was worth exploring. It sounded too good to be true, to be honest. But I felt really compelled just to take a look and to try and prove it was some sort of scam. But it turned out it wasn't.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think a lot of people, they've heard about online business. We see people on the different social media channels, or even friends that are saying, oh, have you heard about this person? He made money online. And I think a lot of people still kind of align it with a scam, but the technology has moved on so much, I think, and there's so much out there. Big companies that are preventing those scams, like Google and Facebook, they have so many rules nowadays that people who really want to scam, they don't even have a chance to get out into the public. So I think that the kind of area of scams, or the time of scams, is kind of a bit outdated nowadays, and we have to move on and really see that it could be a good opportunity for us. So I guess you were there and you heard about this video and this opportunity. And I assume you've seen like maybe different videos as well on YouTube, different things. What made you commit to actually going ahead and starting out in online business?
Well, what made me commit? So I was paralyzed with I didn't have, even though I could see all these, get rich quick videos, and a lot of them are just totally unrealistic. When I did a bit of exploring after seeing this video, and I was sent some sort of free, I guess, introductory videos from this guy that I saw. I signed up to his channel, and he sent me these intro videos. But once I watched these, I realized that they weren't talking about getting rich quick. It wasn't some magic button you pressed and the internet would just start pouring money over you. There was a lot of hard work involved, and more importantly, a lot of step-by-step educational material that you had to go through to make this a success. So it felt very real to me that it wasn't easy. They were telling you it was going to be difficult, but they were also telling you that if you followed this process and you were determined enough, that you or anybody could make it work. And I was in a position where, even though I'd been in IT sales for 30 years, I wasn't IT savvy. I could just about type up a Word document, run an Excel spreadsheet if you were lucky, and do a bit of PowerPoint. So those were my IT skills. It was just office skills. And I knew I'd probably need a little bit more to run an online business. But once I'd gone through the introductory stuff that the SFM showed me, I could see that all of the training was there. How to build your website, how to make it a commercial website, how to fully automate it so it could run 24/7 and generate money for you, I guess. But more importantly, I didn't even have an idea of what type of business I would want. Going into business, you've got to have a business idea, you've got to have a product that you want to sell, and how can you start a business when you haven't got a clue what you want to sell? So, and that was the most refreshing bit about the SFM, is that they showed you a myriad of different options that were available to you to spike your interest, and you can sell anything that you have a passion about. And they were very strong about that. If you're not passionate about something, don't do it, because you won't get out of bed in the morning. You'll be back in the same place that you are in your corporate job, dreading going to work, even if you're working for yourself, unless you can find something passionate that you can really believe in and get excited about, that you can sell yourself. And I really like that. And, it really resonated with me. I didn't want to just change a job to go and get into another rut. I wanted to change my lifestyle and do something I could be excited and passionate about. And they really sparked my interest, so much so that, after watching the first few videos, I couldn't get to sleep at night. I was so excited. My mind was racing with all these crazy ideas. None of them I've used, by the way. But it really, really got me excited, and I could see at long last that the only thing holding me back was my imagination and me, and so that's really how I knew the SFM stuff was different than some of the other stuff that I'd seen online about getting rich quick, because it wasn't that. It was an education, and it was education that I definitely needed.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds great. And I think once you realize that mind shift, that you can start a business, even though an online business, even though you didn't have that kind of technical background, once I guess you understood more about it and how it all works, I think that kind of helped you to commit to it even more, and not stop you from actually going forward with it. And I just wanted to quickly talk about the SFM for those who don't know what the SFM is. So the SFM is a community of online entrepreneurs. They call the Six-Figure Mentors, and they are founded by two guys, Stuart Ross and Jay Kubasek, and their mission in life was to help other people to grow online businesses. And they offer different kind of opportunities for people who want to start out online, and different systems that they can pursue. And that's where Mike and myself, we're both part of the SFM community. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly explain to you, to the watchers out there as well, what the SFM is. In the course of this interview, we'll hear a bit more about the SFM. And at the end of the interview, I'll also leave you a link where you can sign up with them, start your own journey, and maybe learn a bit more about what they offer. But back to you, Mike. Let's just have a look. What was my next? Yes. So I wanted to ask you what you think, in your opinion, is the best thing about running an online business. Like, what do you really like about it?
Okay. What do I really like about it? I think it's really, I guess it's being master of my own destiny. So I no longer have to worry about constantly reporting my sales results to a boss, and logging in and monitoring my time and reporting that to a boss, being constantly, I guess, on the leash, and reporting to somebody was awful. I now get the opportunity to work abroad. I've worked all over Europe, going off to work in the Caribbean later this year. So once you built your online business, as long as you have an internet connection in your laptop, you can work from anywhere in the world and any time of the day. It doesn't really matter. So that freedom is something you never experienced. Even in the job that I had, I used to travel the world meeting customers and doing presentations and seminars and training for my customers, but it wasn't the same. I was always on a tight deadline. I could never see the countries that I was visiting. Time wasn't my own, and I was constantly always under pressure to get the next bit of work done. And yeah, it's just not the same. Now I choose when I want to work. I choose which country I want to work from, or like I am today, working from home and my office in the garden. I don't have to worry about corporate changes, mergers and takeovers, and I've been through a few of those in my time, or being made redundant. My success or my failure is completely down to me. And that's a really, really refreshing feeling once you've gone through this process and you've started to make a success of your online business. You know that there's no going back to the corporate world, and there's no going back to failure. I guess it's a very reassuring place to be. And I feel a lot calmer, a lot happier in myself. My wife thinks I'm a completely different person now. Yeah, it's changed my life, totally changed my life. I know I'm a lot happier and a lot more relaxed. So that's the biggest change, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's really awesome. And I think when you talk about the freedom, it's just about creating your own schedule, isn't it? Every day you can decide what you do. It's not like you have to do what somebody is telling you. And I think what some people get wrong sometimes is that I think people that start out online, we're not ungrateful about the jobs that we had before. in fact, most of us are quite grateful, and usually we have earned a good income, and and it got us started on our careers. But it's just that step forward where we think we don't have to be stuck there. We can create our own life, and we can determine ourselves what we want to do every single day. And I think it's just that flexibility and choice that a lot of people just love about online business. So yeah, I fully agree with you about that. You've touched briefly about the doubt that you couldn't do the technology side of things when you started out. Now we've talked about this already. Was there anything else that got you in doubt about starting out? Was there something that you thought, oh, maybe it's not for me? Was there anything else apart from the technology that's almost stopped you from progressing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was full of doubts. I think the biggest doubt, hardest doubt to overcome is doubting yourself. I'd never started a business before. I'd always worked for other companies. And it was, do I really have the ability to be my own boss, to set up and run a business? Do I have what it takes? Do I have the drive and the motivation and the ability to learn a completely new industry, which is, I guess, marketing? I've been in sales, but marketing is very different.
Yeah.
Also, friends and family think if I failed, would I be a laughing stock? Trying something wacky like setting up an online business. It sounds crazy. So all of those thoughts were spinning around in my head. And then I guess I had concern about, did I have enough money to make this work? I'd obviously have to invest time and money in myself to learn and change my industry. Did I have enough money and time to build my business and get it to a point where it was profitable before I ran out of that money? So all of these doubts and fear, I think, is the real word, that sort of hold you back and make you question yourself constantly. But I guess once I discovered the unique thing about the SFM education, it's not the modules, which are brilliant, and the training is really good. I think the real unique thing is the community. And if it wasn't for that community, and I wouldn't have progressed. And if it wasn't for that community pushing, pulling, cajoling me, dragging me over obstacles that I continuously faced because of my lack of technology savviness, I would never have made it. And I think that really is why I knew the SFM was the right place, the right environment. If I was ever going to make my business work, it was here, because there were people starting their entrepreneur journeys at the same time as me. There were people a few months ahead. There were people a year or two ahead. And they were all willing to reach back down and help up the next thing, the next obstacle, the next challenge, the next success. And that was just wonderful. And I think I can't think of another business that you could go out, buying a franchise, KFC or whatever, and set up in business and have that support, that help, that mentoring from people who are in the same boat as you, on the same journey as you. And it's just utterly liberating. And that's the reason why, I put it all down to the success, not just the training, the community. It really is unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Second that. And when you mention franchise, the big trouble is also just starting out. I mean, a franchise is so expensive to start out. You need huge mortgages for that, or loans, I think is the right word. And it's so tough to start out. I mean, you can't just go and do it. You have nobody who supports you. You usually have, again, all these people saying you just have to do this and that. You can't be free, or you have to be there yourself as well with a franchise like that. So I think an online business is just so much easier to start out. Probably the easiest I've ever seen in my life as well. I think the startup costs are way lower, and I think you can just run this business long term as well. I think a lot of people in the community, they break even quite quickly within the first 2 years, I would say, on average. Obviously, there's something that some people take longer, some people make it happen a lot quicker. It all depends on your background, how much you put in and all that. But it's crazy because with a franchise, usually 5-10 years by the time you break even, I'd say. So yeah, I think that's also a very, very positive thing about the SFM.
And like I said earlier, I had all these crazy ideas going in when my imagination was first sparked with those initial introductory videos. You know, I wanted to sell e-bikes, I wanted to sell cannabis oil, I had a whole myriad of products that I knew were really popular and taking off. And yeah, you know, all of these ideas that I had, when I really looked into it and I was taught what it would take to go down those various paths, they all required a serious amount of capital, even to run an online business in shipping these products and or even outsourcing the shipping and of those products. So one of the other things that really sparked my imagination was, you know, one of the SFM um, paths, I guess is the right word to use, is earn while you learn, which you know, the affiliate marketing path, and that just completely took away a lot of the barriers that I suddenly saw ahead of me after doing a bit of research. They were just all removed, and I could learn online marketing, and I could earn while I was learning, and then maybe go back to my wacky ideas and buy e-bikes and or whatever else comes into my mind in a year or so's time, which I'll probably end up doing. But it was just the perfect way to get involved in this business without, you know, having a massive amount of capital up front. And yeah, it was definitely the right move for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that question a lot. People asking, I don't have my own products. Can I start this? And my answer is always, you absolutely can, because one of the paths that you can go down with the SFM is called affiliate marketing. And they teach you how to sell other people's products in return for a commission. So it's like, if you know HelloFresh, for example, or Airbnb do that, Amazon, all big companies out there do this concept. And for you to get people into their programs, you get a commission, and that's what you're taught within the SFM. So the opportunities are huge. You don't need your own products even, and you just learn about the marketing side, which you need in any business anyway. So I think that's just a fantastic concept. That online, you know, business has opened so many opportunities for all of us, and I think that's just brilliant.
Yep.
Okay, so I've got one more question for you, which is, what would you recommend someone? So somebody has heard of online business and maybe they've heard of the SFM, but they're full of these doubts, like you said, like they're thinking, can I do this? Do I have enough time? Is there any specific recommendation you would give out to people that are in this kind of situation? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say, knowing what I know now, I would grab the opportunity with both hands. I really would. Keep taking positive action each and every day, moving forwards. I think you've really got to have, and again, they teach you this, you've really got to have a vision and a goal of where you want to be. Don't just go into it to, you know, make more money or make money on the side or replace your current income or, you know, revenue stream, earnings. You've really got to have a vision of where you want your life to be. You know, imagining that you had that freedom to work from anywhere, that you had enough money to do whatever you wanted to do in life, including friends and family. You know, what would your day look like if you were in that position? And if you can picture what you would do with that freedom, with that income, then, you know, if you picture that and work towards that, then it really motivates you just to keep going. It is hard work. It's not easy, especially to start with, setting it all up. But it's well worth it. And you've got that vision and you've got that goal. It keeps driving you forward, and eventually you'll get there. I'm not there yet, but I'm very, very close. I've ticked a lot of the boxes that I wanted to tick, and I'm going to keep on working towards the ones that still need ticking. But don't let your doubts and fears stop you. Trust in your gut, and, you know, believe it's the right path for you. If you feel it is, then it is. So yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity.
That's great. Do you remember how you felt when you made your first sale?
I remember how I felt when I got my first lead, let alone first sale. I was jumping up and down. But yeah, when I got my first sale, I was actually asleep, and it was someone in America that purchased one of my products, and I woke up in the morning and had a very strange email and didn't recognize it, and opened it up, and boom, there it was, my first sale. So yeah, I think it's a bit like a drug. Once you get that first sale and you know it works, you know, everything you've been building. It took me a few months because of my technical inabilities to get it all. First few sales I put through myself, you know, I signed myself up, I signed my wife up, I signed my dad up just to make sure everything worked. You don't really know it works until the market, you know, somebody out there comes to you, likes your value proposition and buys from you. And then you can see that happening. And especially if it's happening at night while you're sleeping, that's just wonderful, because then, you know, the vision of having this business running 24/7, whether you're there or not, whether you're awake or asleep, it's real. And it was for me. I woke up and I had that sale, and then luckily another one, and then my first 10, and then my first 100. And you know, I promote my services on YouTube, and I've just crossed half a million mark. Half a million people have viewed my YouTube videos, which is means I'm a YouTube star, which is crazy. Because 3 months ago I'd never been on camera. I wouldn't even know how to put myself on YouTube. So it's astonishing, you know. It's, you know, what I've learned and my journey thus far is astonishing. I know there's no way back now for me, because I have made quite a few sales now, and it's really refreshing to know that it works and I can make it work. And if I can make it work, being a normal run-of-the-mill guy, and I am, then anyone can make it work. You know, I'm over 50. I thought I was on the scrap heap. I didn't think anyone was going to hire me again, other than for my sales experience. Certainly wasn't going to be able to reskill and learn a different industry. And yet I've proved myself wrong with this training and this community. More importantly, I have reskilled. I'm still reskilling. I'm learning every day. I'm thoroughly loving what I'm learning every day. I skip to work now. I've only got 3 or 4 skips to do from my house to the office now in the garden, but I thoroughly love working for myself. I thoroughly love what I do. For the first time ever in my life, I'm getting fulfillment, because I'm not only earning a healthy income for me and the family. I'm now also helping others, and that sense of fulfillment is something I never ever thought I would do. You know, I think only doctors or, you know, people with skills like that get the chance to, and from what I'm doing in this journey, I'm now helping others discover what I've discovered, and that's an amazing feeling. Some of the messages I get from around the world are just incredible and heart-wrenching, and that was a real nice surprise byproduct, and it's becoming more and more important to me now. Forget the money, it's helping others, and that sense of fulfillment is just wonderful, and I'm blessed to be able to be in a position to do that. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, congratulations anyway for your journey so far. I think you're just the perfect example of how it can actually work for people and how it's actually real. You know, we always doubt ourselves so much. We think we can't do this. But everybody you see on the internet who has made it a success, they have started somewhere. They have started without a website. They have never made an ad. But what they do have in common is that they just want this freedom so much. They have the desire to do it, and they just go out, massive imperfect action in the beginning, and, you know, just have the courage to ask for help. And this is something that I've learned throughout my journey. Ask people. You don't have to do this thing alone. There's so many people. You have a global audience of people. You can connect with someone in Hawaii or in China or wherever you are. You know, it doesn't matter. You can connect with people with the same goal, and, you know, just ask them for help. And that's how you start your journey and get successful.
Yeah.
So absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike, for taking the time to speaking to us. For everybody watching, I'll leave a link somewhere on this page. You can click on that. You can fill out your short application to the SFM, and you can start your own journey with us. We can't wait to speak to you and to help you on your journey as well. So I hope you enjoyed this interview and the information, and hope to speak to you again very soon. So bye, Mike, and thanks again.